Welcome back to SoldOutChat, the gathering for marketing, tech experts, and leaders who want to help their organization get to sold out status. I'm Kay, the marketing coordinator here at Above Promotions, an award winning agency where we empower brands with cutting edge strategies and creative solutions to reach their full potential. Learn more about our successful results at abovepromotions.com. For those joining us for the first time, prepare for a dynamic discussion on the latest tools, innovations, policies, and strategies aimed at helping your brand sell out products or reach capacity with booked services. Our last episode discussed three ways to use AI tools to help make six figure business decisions with our CEO, Ebony Vaz. If you missed it, please visit our Spotify to replay the dynamic conversation. Today, we will be joined by Ebony Vaz and special guest Yasmine Gardiner. In this episode of Solo Chat, we'll dive into the complexities of customer behavior, exploring the role of AI and data analysis in anticipating customer actions while acknowledging the inherent unpredictability of human choices. Hi, Ebony. Are you excited for today's guest?
Yes, I am. This is very much so. Yasmin, I'm so glad that you have put your schedule with ours and graced us today with your knowledge. She and I shared a panel together several months ago, last year, right?
Mhm.
So it's exciting to come back together to talk about AI again.
That's nice. That's nice to hear. So, before we dive in and introduce our special guest, be sure to stay to the end for valuable upcoming opportunities. So, be sure to listen all the way through for the details. As mentioned, we have a special guest this month. Yasmine Gardiner is the founder and CEO of ClearSet.AI, bringing over 5 years of experience in data science and AI, including significant roles with the Department of Defense and Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Currently, she serves as a data science manager for Accenture and is actively involved in community initiatives, including her role on the board of the nonprofit Oasis Opportunities. So, Yasmin has been recognized as a 2023 40 Under 40 honoree. She serves on the executive committee of the Tampa Business Club and as director of events for the National Sales Network Tampa chapter. Hi, Yasmin.
Hi, Kay. Hi, Ebony. Thank you all so much for having me on today's show. I'm super excited to talk AI to help other people learn about it and just kind of alleviate those curiosities around it. So, thank you all so much for having me on a special guest. I feel honored to be on here and to talk to marketing experts and business owners like yourself, Ebony, and meeting you as well, too, Kay. Thank you dearly.
That's nice. That's nice. We're so excited to have you. So, predicting customer behavior has long been the holy grail of marketing, but is it truly possible? So, let's now dive into my first question to find out. So, we often talk about predicting customer behavior. So, but is it truly like prediction or highly informed anticipation? How does AI driven data analysis differ from the traditional market research in understanding customer action?
Absolutely, that's a great question. So, with market research, it's what's going on today, right now, okay, and what's the trend, what are people attracted to, and what's going to draw more customer acquisition to your service or product. Now, with AI-driven data analysis, it allows you to really hone in on what that demographic look like, and how can you expand on that too. So, say for example someone who purchased your product lives in a one zip code, but when they are making the purchases they're in another zip code. Well, now we can create those demographic and those insights as to, okay, where in this zip code is the reasoning for them to purchase this? Are they at a significant other's house? Is it their job? Like, where is that? So that allows you to really hone in that this could be another zip code area that businesses can tackle and market to, on top of the zip code where the person, input their address on file for you all.
I think it hits a nail on the head. I think, as a marketer, there's always some basic truths and some things that are going to always be the same. Like, you need to know where your customer is. You need to know who your customer is. You need to have an idea of the age group of your customer. So I think that when we keep that in mind, it makes it easier to layer on these other tools and approaches of how we try to predict data predict what our clients are going to do next. So, one of the things that I also think when you ask the question, is it truly predictable or is it just anticipation? And I think it's both. Businesses are anticipating that people are going to stay true to themselves, that they're not going to change.
Yes.
And so, because of that, but there is this part where we have to rely on history
Yeah.
at the end of the
Yes.
day. So this is whether we're using AI tools or not, we're relying on history to make decisions. And people make decisions on whether they're going to introduce a new product into an area based off of history. So I think that's part of it. It's not going to change
And
no
you're
matter
very
the
spot
tool.
on. I'm sorry. And you're very spot on. And like they said, history repeats itself. So, that also entails in marketing, in which I'm sure you have seen that time and time and again of just the same trend coming around or the same type of demographic or the clientele. So, you're very spot on that too.
I agree. So, AI can analyze these vast data sets to identify patterns, but can it predict what a customer will do next, or does it offer probabilities and likelihoods? Where does the line blur, and how should businesses approach these predictions?
Absolutely. Great question. So, with this one, I find is very interesting because I think it's all in one, to be honest. And I say that because, for example, overseas, and I've noticed a trend here that they're following our behaviors to attract you to come to their products or their store or use their lives or service. So, for example, say Marshalls is like, okay, we know Ebony is coming to visit us every Tuesday, well, on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. We notice this is her trend, right? And we
I have a
notice,
specific date and time, but it's close. It's close.
and they're like, okay, so we predicting that there's a likelihood of her coming to Marshalls again next Tuesday at 3 p.m. So we've noticed through her behavior that when she makes a purchase, it's predominantly the color purple. This might be her favorite color. So what we're going to do is people that are her around her demographic might also like the color purple as well too. So we're going to put a sign outside our store that says, hey, we have this 20% off deal, but we're going to market it in the color purple to make it more attractive to her to come in and continue those footsteps. So I believe that the prediction and likelihood of probability is all in one statistics when it comes to creating those research and understanding the demographics and how to create a new trend that makes it really valuable into the business while also still catering to their current customer demographic as well.
Love how you brought in the consumer psychology of it because that's still, some of these basic principles of like marketing, they're not going to change no matter what the tool is, right? And so when we think about it, I completely agree. There is a way to encourage people to take certain behaviors when we align their best desires in front of them.
I like that word. That's a really kind word to say.
Well, there's it. Ron always jokes with me. My husband always jokes with me and says that he'll see a commercial and he's like, "Oh, that's those marketing people." Our people are buying all this stuff because of those marketing people. But yeah, there's a bit of encouragement that we send the layout,
Mhm.
and like you said, once you get that chance to analyze that data, it just makes it really kind of easy.
Exactly. This traditional customer segmentation often relies on the demographics. So, how can AI help us move beyond the surface level categories to understand deeper motivations, preferences, and contextual factor that influence the behavior?
Yes. So going back to what I said to question one, I believe, say, for example, the person who's purchasing is in a different zip code normally, or there may be when they ordered, it's usually directed to a different address versus the address on file. So doing that deeper dive, okay, so what's in this area that this person is currently or always purchasing this order from? And then that allows you to do more deeper insights. So starting with the customer, okay, what is their background? Like, are they in finance? Do they have a significant other? Like doing that deeper research, then correlating to the zip code that they're currently ordering, it's like, okay, so what's in that area that makes it so attractive to continue to purchase the order versus the area that they have on file of their zip code? And that continue to do that deeper dive. what does that demographic look like? What is that salary? What is the job? What is the, is it family? Is it, single home? What does that demographic look like? And you just continue to expand on it. Who also is associated to that zip code as well too? And what kind of people travel to that zip code? So it builds the curiosity in you to want to do that deeper dive in research. And I like to say one thing, in my opinion, that's very successful is if you can really maximize of bringing the curiosity out of people, it makes it much more easier to understand how to market or how to encourage them to your products and services. Because people are curious. People are always curious. They want to figure things out. They want to know. They're nosy. And so as a business owner, that allows you to really hone in and dive into that zip code and say, okay, I'm curious to know what's over here that can be also fruitful for my business as well too.
Yeah. And I think that with AI, it helps us to move quicker,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially when we have real time, real world, economic, political, social. We have all these factors that are happening right now. We have the country flipping out about eggs and this whole thing. We were flipping out about toilet paper before and paper towels, and now it's eggs. It is so important to be able to have those tools. And I think it's good that we can see that we can now layer and put in these tools that are powered by AI to help make those very defined customer segmentations operate even better.
Yep. No, you're
Exactly.
absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, using AI to anticipate this customer needs raises ethical questions about privacy,
Ooh.
manipulation, and bias. So, this is what we always talk about. This is very important. So, how can businesses ensure they're using businesses? I mean, how can businesses ensure they're using these tools responsibly and transparently, like avoiding practices that could damage the customer trust?
Ooh, this is my favorite topic. AI. Man, 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 man. How do we navigate that? So I tell people these AI tools and softwares, majority of them are transparent that if you were to scroll at the bottom of their homepage or just any of the pages on their website, it would show the privacy policy, right? So I tell people, look over that. And I know it's really long, it's extensive, but use Claude, use ChatGPT or Gemini to really summarize it for you so you have a better understanding of how they're using and what they're using with your data. But then there's also technologies that are out there that are also very transparent of, hey, we are responsible AI, we are governance AI, we are ensuring that we are accountable of your data set and how we utilize it every time you utilize our platform. So really take the time to look over both of those pages and summarize it for yourself as well too, just to have that better understanding and then make that decision if this is something you want to move forward with. I believe if a software really doesn't tell too much of what they're doing with their data, do more research to ensure that this is something that you want to use. But the research is there, everything is there. You have people who are experts in the industry that can tell you what to look for, what not to look for, what to use, what not to use. So utilize YouTube, utilize the search engine to be able to do that. And so I encourage everyone to do that. Sorry, my laptop has shut down. I got nervous for a second, like, oh.
You're still with us. You're still with us. I completely agree. Being in technology, we have this opportunity to learn a little bit more about areas and countries of concern, parties of concern, organizations of concern. And so, what I usually tell business owners is yes, definitely go to that privacy page. I usually start off with going to where is that company governed by laws? And then if it's in a place where I feel like there's some good, strong law here, if something goes wrong, then I continue to proceed to see what else they have going on. And I don't want to get on the soapbox because I know everybody has their own opinions, but I do have a bit of concern that when it initially rolled out, I mean, now there's a little bit more information, but when it originally DeepSeek rolled out, there was no clear indication as to who are the leaders in the organization, what they were governed, or what their principles are. And that's a little bit concerning that so many people just readily trust it. I mean, there is a level that you have to pay attention to. And I don't want to get political because it doesn't drive us completely, but we do have to be conscious when you have leaders that feel like run hard, run fast, let's win this race no matter what. But we do need leaders to say, yes, we know we need to be in the forefront of this, but we also know that there's implications that people could become injured, wrong information about people could be arrested, people could be misdiagnosed. So there's a lot of implications that we have to get behind. And that's one of the reasons we spent a lot of time every time under the last administration when they did public comments, we kept putting them out because we wanted to ensure that there's enough voices to say there's some concerns about us building technical tools without some level of governance and accountability.
Right.
And so I think that's what I hope to see as this new administration continues to build, that we continue to keep people in the forefront. And I think whether it's AI or not, it's a very important when a technical tool, any type of innovation gets introduced into the marketplace, that it keeps people first. And we have to think long term. We have to think, what is it going to be the effects 6 months from now, 5 years from now? And I think, I mean, we can see now with social media, we see there's an impact. It just kind of went out there and did its thing, and now these we see all the impacts, and now we're trying to roll things back. But it's hard once the horse has left the stable. It's hard to get them to come back.
And, to pick up on that, I like to say, this is the wild, wild west of
Hmm.
AI. And I think a lot of people are taking advantage of that because it's
Yes,
kind of similar to the 90s when it was a dot-com era. Everyone was
yes.
making so much
Thank
money
you.
and, it was a lucrative time. And I think people are seeing that this is that moment. So I like to say back then it was a dot-com, this is dot AI. If you notice, a lot of
Yes.
software are dot AI. And I think people are taking advantage of that, but it also goes back to your expertise, Ebony. If you have the right marketing, the right branding, the right choice of words of your product, I mean, people pretty much are just going to believe it and not really do any background research because it looks great, it looks reputable, it looks credible. So why not just take that chance? And I'm sure you know the importance of marketing and what that image looks like. So I think between it being the wild wild west and having a great marketer makes situations like DeepSeek in the beginning very successful and lucrative.
I completely agree to you both. Especially with me, this is also what I love doing, checking every privacy policy for our clients before we use each tools that we come across to. So, like, I really love reading. I mean, it takes that to make me like, oh, you let us check this one out. So we ensure that everything is safe for us. Okay, so while AI can provide valuable insights and customer behavior is also influenced by emotions, social factors, and unpredictable events, how can businesses combine AI-driven data with human understanding and empathy to create a more holistic view of the customer?
Yes. So, in my opinion, I think that what businesses can do is just have an understanding that things change because life is very unpredictable. So yes, this certain demographic may look this way, but again, there could be a change. So still have that backup plan of what that might look like. And just keeping that human touch is very, very important. We don't want the AI to continue to grow without us because it's self-learned that much due to our input, and now it's operating from the unethical or just that lack of empathy and whatnot. So we just have to keep mindful that we are still humans at the end of the day, and life happens. God forbid something happens to a loved one or your job, and so now you can no longer have those services. So having that backup plan is also very important for the demographic that you're currently marketing at and towards too.
Yeah. And I think you hit it. So one, I am for efficiency. I'm for organizations being as efficient as possible So the implementation of chatbots, those type of things, I get. But there does have to be some type of line, right? So
Yes.
it's got to be some type of line to where there is a situation where a human has to intervene. So if I get sick, have cold, I have some symptoms, I could put them in, and let's say it tells me go to the store and get these over the counter medicines. But then I come back to that program and say, I feel even worse. What is the response going to be? Like, at what level do we have to start to say we need some human intervention? Because there's some questions that a human nurse, doctor are going to know to ask, and when they see you, they'll know exactly how you're reacting to the questions. So there's certain things that still are going to require a human touch, still going to require any models that are being built to further learn us. I mean, we have many layers. We're complex beings, especially as a woman. We are very complex beings. So I don't care what Claude, I don't care what Chat, I don't care what Anthropic does, is there are levels to us women. And so, we have to figure out like that where that line starts and ends. And I would hate to see, let's say, someone's like the government implements AI and someone's trying to figure out how to get death benefits and the AI returns back cruel response or a very
Yeah.
dry response. There's empathy that has to be built in. So there's so many layers to this. I think, and I hope that we continue to keep again that human portion first as we're building these technologies.
Yes, I hope so too, because it's important. At the end of the day, the AI can't run without someone running it and programming it. So, regardless, it needs to have that human touch. But it also, like, well, when I used to work for the DoD, and we will say the terminology adversary, you have to make sure that the adversary, doesn't want to be unethical or want to lack the empathy because of greed and whatnot, which is an unfortunate case. But the human touch has always have to be there. It has to be there because the AI doesn't have what we have. It doesn't have the creativity like us. It doesn't have the
Mhm.
heart. It doesn't have the emotion. It wants to, but you can't. That's something that's always been in humans since before time, of course. And it's important to have that factor. Trying to eliminate jobs and really quick. I remember, I think it was 2 years ago when AI was hot popping, booming, and whatnot, so many large corporations and tech companies fired a lot of staffs because they're like, we can save costs. We don't really need you. The AI will do the work. And then I believe 6 to 8 months later, they hire them back up because
Yeah.
they're like, wait a minute, we realize AI can't do anything without someone running it, but also there's still certain factors that require the human touch. Keep
Yeah.
that human touch and make AI just use for that one or two tasks you need it to do, but don't let it involve the entire life or your entire business.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
I agree. I agree because having that human touch still is what really will keep your customers stay with you.
Yes.
Because there are really certain like problems that they cannot answer for us. So
Hmm.
there should be someone we can talk to, like a
Yes.
human that we can talk to.
Yes.
So
Yes.
AI can enable highly personalized experiences, but where is the line between helpful personalization and intrusive creepiness? So how can businesses use AI to enhance the customer journey without crossing that line?
So it's funny. I'm not sure if you all get those spam emails. So, you wake up in the morning and you get like an email from a company. You're like, okay, cool. I read it or I'll just delete it. Then, like 3, 4 hours later, you get another email from the company, and then it's just another one, and then another one throughout the day. You're like, man, I just got 4 or 5 within one day, and it just continues to go like that. I feel as though that's creepy because it's like it's too much, and then you're getting too personalized. And even the trend of, say, you're Googling something or you're thinking about something, and next thing you know, you're scrolling on Facebook and the ad pops up. That's creepy as well too, but that goes back to customer demographic and being curious about you, that they find ways to market their platform in front of what you're looking at already. So there needs to be a line. Yes, you want to make it personalized, but make it personalized to where you have the email that says, "Hey Ebony" or "Hey Kate," like just making it to where it's like their name to each of the email to feel that, they're talking to you directly. But when you're adding on all the stuff that you didn't even realize that they knew about you, and they're telling you like, "Hey, we noticed that you've been shopping at Target for baby stuff, so we're going to send you some baby coupons." And it's like, wait a minute, I could have a niece or a nephew on the way. Like, this is too much, and it gets creepy, it gets unethical, and then it gets too much because now it feels like they're forcing you to buy their products and whatnot. And it's funny because a good friend of mine, we were just talking about this last week. You could be ordering pizza, but you're ordering pizza for a party, not really much for you. Now all of a sudden you get all these pizza ads and, "Oh, come buy pizza, come buy pizza." And it's like, I don't even eat pizza. Why am I getting all of this? I ordered this for a friend or for a party, but
Yeah.
I'm the one stuck with the consequences of doing the research and purchasing it.
Yeah, yeah. So a few years ago, our agency was like one of it was like the only one in Florida for sure. And it was one of the smallest ones that was a part of the International Advertising Bureau's task force for trying to go cookieless. And so we put in all this work, all this work. Google's like, we're gonna go cookieless, gonna go cookieless. And over the last 9, 10 months, I'm still seeing that cookies are still being used across many sites. So yeah, people are still very closely being tracked. So I don't know what happened. And I am very curious as to where things are going to go with this new administration. So while Europe and other countries are still going to keep doing what they're doing and cracking down, I do wonder if this new administration is going to be pro business or pro consumer, and if we're going to see more of that. And when we talk about creepy things, and we know that there are platforms that you can put your emails in to go out to leads, and it will tell you if the lead opened the email or not. So I have had where some really bold sales email pitches go like, "Hey, Ebony, I see you opened the last email. Perhaps you were too busy to respond at the time." I'm like, I
Mm,
don't think you necessarily need to tell the person that you're monitoring that much. "Oh, I saw you open up the email. You clicked the link, but you didn't buy anything. I'm going to tell you, here's a 20% off coupon. Why don't you come
yeah,
back?"
yeah.
So it's things like that we have to be kind of careful of, like what is going to be the approach you're going to take. And also, I like when I have seen and actually tried a few tools that will actually do some analyzing of social media platforms of those particular leads. So the least gives you a chance to figure out what direction you should or approach you should take with them. That would be helpful if more people did that instead of telling me, "See you," and "Why you're ignoring me."
That's very creepy. It just goes back to just people want that sale. They want you to come back to their platform. And it's like, I will, but you don't know what had happened when I had opened your email during that time. Maybe I opened it and I was standing in line getting coffee, and then it was my turn to order. And then I just end up forgetting. So to kind of push people that way it's unnecessary and too
It
much.
is.
And people are already kind of scared of the thought of AI, and this is not helping at
No, it's
all.
not at all. It's not at all.
That's just like hardcore selling. So
Too hardcore.
preferences and trends are constantly evolving. How can businesses use AI not just to predict current behavior, but also to anticipate shifts in the market and adapt their strategies proactively?
Yes. So I believe, of course, not just demographics, but also look at your finances. Which product has been doing the best? Also looking at certain, even organizations that you're a part of, which one has really helped with more referrals. So look at everything that really, centers around your business too, even your employees. Where are most of them from, and what are their likes and hobbies and whatnot? You just never know, but you have to look everywhere because that just increases more insights for you to become successful and make those analysis and decisions making. But just focusing on one aspect, which is the customer, which is great in marketing, but there's so much that ties into that we also have to be mindful of to be successful as well too.
I like how you brought up HR And those are definitely good points. I know of a colleague that's in Canada building a software to kind of analyze whistleblower complaints.
Hmm.
So I think that was another good use of it. It's for companies internally to complain about whatever issues that they may have. But the other part too, as we continue to take a look at the not just the consumer side of the business, but also the financial side,
Yes.
you can get the ability to take a look at. So forecasting has always been it's been a struggle for business owners. I know myself, years in business, forecasting has been very difficult. But now we can kind of utilize tools to help us do that a little bit better. Some people, accounting just is not their strong suit. Being able to take a look and see like this are historical sales. This is what's usually happened when the sales team performs and gets these type of clients. We can expect this type of cash flow. We can then in turn anticipate we'll have this amount of revenue or profit. We'll be able to make these type of investments. And so I like seeing some of those other types of applications for it. I mean, I know that AI is the big, public facing a shiny tool right now, but it's been around for a long time. I mean, stockbrokers have been using different models for years. There have been statistical models. All this boils down to statistics, data analysts. This all of this is stuff that's been around, but now it's just more easy to access how to use these tools. And so I love seeing people use them in different areas, especially inventory as well.
Yes. Yes, yes. And you're very spot on that as well too. Just you really have to look at every aspect and determine, okay, we noticed that June is not the best month for us.
Mhm.
Why? Is it the product? Is it, is it sales, more salespeople are on PTO? Like,
Yeah,
what is it? So you really have to look at just every aspect. Or is it like June, we've noticed employees are, more fatigued during that time too. So you got to take care of your people as well. So look at every aspect and not just the customer. Oh, we need to focus only on the customer, but then you're forgetting everything else that helps attract the customers to your business.
I agree.
I agree. I agree. So, coming up with our last question, how can businesses measure the effectiveness of their AI driven customer behavior predictions? What metrics should they track to ensure that their efforts are translating into tangible business outcomes?
Question. So I would say, just continue to track as far as like how are your pipelines looking? Is are you increasing the revenue, of course? Are you increasing the followers? Are you increasing people opening your emails? Are you increasing the services that people might want? Like, are you looking at the surveys? Are you increasing good customer reviews on Google and getting those feedback as well too? Really measuring the effectiveness of AI really starts of why you bought it. So if you bought AI to help you with, for example, myself with, I'm terrible with social media, and I use a platform called predictive.ai to help with scheduling my post. And so it's effective to me because it's been scheduling the post at the time that where a lot of people are on my page, and that really has helped with views. That's helped with getting at least one or two followers per week. And so I've seen the effectiveness of it, and I'm just still with it to this day. So the reason why you invest into that AI software, look to see, has it been doing what it's supposed to do? Has it helped with that workflow? Has it helped with the employees happiness? Has it helped with the sales or creating new ideas for new services or and whatnot? So really hone in on, is it giving me the ROI to why I had invested in it?
Yeah, I agree. Your KPIs are important, making sure that before you purchase a tool, you're thinking, how much time will this save? How much money will this save? How quickly can I make better sales decisions? How quickly can I ascertain when not to make purchase of certain equipment? I think that people especially businesses that may only have a couple of years of data, maybe 5 years of data. There are a lot of data points that are out there. And I don't mean data points from like John Smith, 32 years old. I mean like industry data points. Data.gov is a free one. At least it was free under the last administration. But it's a free area, and you can look and see certain cities submit their data to the government, and so you might be able to go and see how many people travel the subway in New York. So you can analyze that data over a certain period of time. So I don't want people to get stuck on just the data that they have internally, because especially if you had bad data, and you know this with your business, Yasmin, if you have bad data, your data needs to be cleaned. You've got missing parts, there's things that have overlapped and stuff, and you're like, I need to get some my data clean, so I'm going to call Yasmin. And then you think, okay, I need some external data information. There's some resources that businesses have, and I really encourage them to look out into the industry organizations that they can get a part of to get access to that info. I encourage you to go to sites like DataGov. Your local libraries, they give you access to data. So don't try to make the decisions based off of just what you have internally, especially if you're not that profitable. I mean, come on. You're not that profitable. You got to look at some external data to help you make some other decisions become profitable. So I really want to encourage people, like when we're thinking about AI and analyzing data, don't just think about the existing data that's in your house, but also think about other access to data that you feel is reliable and ethical to use to make some decisions.
Yes, spot on right there too. The more information you have, the deeper the insights you will gain, and that allows you to continue to be strategic. And I feel like though that's the importance is how do I become strategic enough to continue to grow and have that longevity. And the more the merrier, like we always say. So that mindset with data as well too. And you just never know what you might come across. And there's data out there that are sample or old data that still correlates to what you're
Mhm.
trying to execute or what you're looking at or looking for. So you can even have access to that as well too to just make some hypothetical decisions and before you even invest even more. So utilize all the information that's out there. It's there. There's data that's public. There's some data you can buy if you want to just have your own kind of private internal and increase on that. Utilize everything. So you're very spot on that, Ebony.
Mhm. I agree. I agree. We learned a lot from this session today. Thank you, Ebony and Jasmine, for sharing great insights with us. So, wrapping up this insightful discussion, we learned that predicting customer behavior involves informed anticipation rather than absolute certainty. So, while AI offers advanced data analysis that goes beyond traditional methods, it still has limitations. AI can uncover patterns and probabilities, but true prediction is complex, requiring a grasp of the difference between the likelihood and the fact. So let us also remember that it's crucial to measure the effectiveness of AI driven predictions with relevant metrics to ensure positive outcomes without resorting to intrusive personalization. So check out our website for free resources on innovation. Follow us on LinkedIn for more valuable insights. So if you're not subscribed to our newsletter, you missed a couple of these upcoming opportunities, or even so, join the Black Innovation Leaders of Florida in Pensacola on April 18th and 19th. Visit blackinnovationfl.org for more information. So dive into the many great tools and knowledge at this year's ByteCon located in Miami on April 10th to 11th. For more info, go to byte-con.org. And until then, keep innovating and achieving new heights. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.